Hi, this is Georgina Villasenor-Lee, and welcome to my presentation on the Human Resources Analyst interview question. As we've been tasked with, this presentation will cover a brief synopsis of the position itself. I will then cover the interview question that I've selected, then move on to the different types of responses from candidates, and close out the presentation. The human resources analyst position is one that requires analytical and critical thinking skills. It deals with a variety of personnel matters, but this one specifically is assigned to a sensitive area of human resources known as compliance. And so, as we know, human resources really is dictated by many regulatory and statutory authorities along with policies and procedures. And so the goal is to remain as fair and equitable as possible. So for purposes of this presentation, the HR analyst position deals with accommodations in the workplace for employees with disabilities. And so that will be the focus for this presentation. A panel of subject matter experts will be interviewing candidates after they have already reviewed applications for minimum qualifications. And so the interview question that I have developed is a combination between a situational judgment question that incorporates a hypothetical situation that is more than likely to occur within the course of the human resources analyst position. So the question here is, a custodial supervisor calls you in regards to a written reprimand. He is ready to issue to his employee for failing to complete a task which requires lifting. The employee has shared with the supervisor they are unable to perform the task because of a previous injury to their back. How do you handle this matter? And so a couple of responses can be presented or provided by a candidate. One candidate can respond, I would advise the custodial supervisor to go ahead and issue the written reprimand. This type of response is definitely wrong. It demonstrates a lack of critical thinking skills and lack of awareness of the issues that are presented in the situation. Another type of response can be one in which a candidate demonstrates some awareness of the potential issues here, and as a human resources professional, sometimes not all information and facts are presented. So a candidate can respond to this interview question, well, I would ask the custodial supervisor to provide me with more information and send me a summary in an email so I can review it with my supervisor and get back to them. This does demonstrate some ability to collect more information so that they can respond appropriately, but also it presents a situation where the expectation is, as a human resources analyst, they're able to handle the situation to some extent. So this would be more so of an average type of response. Now, an outstanding response would be one that definitely demonstrates the ability to problem solve and to advise the custodial manager or supervisor accordingly. So a response by candidate that says, well, I would ask the custodial supervisor to send me a copy of the written reprimand so we can review it together and make sure that I understand completely what has happened. I would explain to the custodial supervisor that we are in a situation where discipline and a potential disability accommodations matter are overlapping or colliding, and that we may need to address this more so in the accommodations process. I would advise the custodial manager to hold off and make sure that the employee understands their right to request an accommodation. So I would then reach out to the employee before any type of personnel action is taken further. And so I would also help the custodial supervisor understand that through the accommodations process, there may be accommodations available to the employee to assist them in carrying out that specific lifting task, such as maybe a rolling cart or another assistive device. This type of thorough response would be an outstanding response. Definitely demonstrates their expertise in this area, their analytical skills, ability to problem solve, and to respond accordingly. Thank you for reviewing my presentation. I hope you have a blessed week.